Good morning and good evening today to our presentation of our new software opportunity, software product, WebPQ Visualizer. My name is Fabian Leppich. I'm the product manager of the Power Quality Systems and therefore responsible also for the software part of this product group. First of all, I would like to introduce myself a little bit and also clarify some procedures. You have the opportunity to ask questions during my presentation, and this question I will answer at the end of the presentation. My colleague, Mr. Max Sefts, will also try to answer easy, not that technical questions during our meeting and presentation. Yeah, where are we? So we have today also some new customers, some interested in our presentation, and therefore I would like to introduce also our company a little bit. We have been founded in the 80s of the 19th century. We are approximately 100 employees which are working directly from Nuremberg. We are producing our products in the quite next to Nuremberg, so our products are mainly developed and also produced made in Germany. In our opinion, we are definitely the leading in the way in of power quality, which means we were one of the first suppliers and producers of the so-called supraharmonic measurement technology in the last years. In the meanwhile, we are working at different voltage levels, especially our regulators, which are where we are coming from, and they are working in a high voltage and medium voltage system. And in the past years, we are supplying and also producing a lot of products for the low voltage segment, because in the low voltage segment, the most influences will occur during the energy transition. As an example, we have there also a power quality solution, and our power quality solution, which has the opportunity to regulate the voltage stability in the low voltage grid, its name is LVRSys, so low voltage regulation with a reaction time of 30 milliseconds. If you are interested in such other products, please look at our webpage where we offer also some new webinars regarding the low voltage regulation system. In the meanwhile, we are also internationally activity in 65 different countries, especially in the Southern America field, as well as in Austria, New Zealand, and also in the African market. We are delivering in with our products of power quality. So I'm so sorry. We had a technical issue due to misunderstanding between me and Max. Our customers are coming from the utility side as well as also from the industry side. Here you can see some value and very good customers from us as an overview. So, for example, BMW, Audi from the industry side, as well as Enedis or also Transit BW, some TSOs and DSOs are displayed here. What are we speaking about today? Power quality monitoring system ensures the quality of the grid and creates production reliability. This is our aim, which we always have. We want to measure, identify, and counteract trends and prevent interactions between different grid participants. Therefore, we are measuring according different standardizations, which are also displayed on this slide. Especially the EN 5160 in the European country between high voltage, medium voltage, or between medium voltage and low voltage, or also in the meanwhile at the end of some line in the low voltage grid, we are measuring with our devices according different standards. In the international field, we often have the IEEE standardization, IEEE 519, which not only evaluates the harmonics in the situation of in the situation of voltage, but also in the situation of current, and therefore we are providing power quality meters, and also we combine these power quality meters with a disturbance fault recording system. All our devices are measuring according to the latest power quality standards, and this is also mentioned here. All PQ devices are meets IEC 61000-4-30 Class A Edition 3, so that we have the opportunity to get reliable results at the end of the measurement. Therefore, a customer or a renewable energy windmill, for example, or PV power plant could be monitored from external influences as well as from internal influences. And the internal influences we provide in the meanwhile also some a new technology which is called RCM, residual current monitoring. Therefore, we provide a big range of power quality devices, for example, mobile devices from a low and low price segment PQ Box 50 until the mentioned high-end power quality monitoring device PQ Box 300, which can measure up to 150 kilohertz. For the fixed installed devices, we can offer a very flexible PQID, PQID-A system with many opportunities in case of different binary in, binary outputs, and also different hardware technology behind, as well as the standard devices PQID-A Smart and PQID-E, which are available in many different versions, also with many different opportunities to measure voltage as well as current. For example, with an PQID-E, you can also measure in the high voltage or medium voltage system with the new voltage level 3.25 volts and so-called sensor input. And also with PQID-A Smart and PQID-E, you can measure, for example, directly with Rogowski coils as well as current clamps with a sensor millivolt input. All our devices are have two main functionalities, so the DFR functionalities for the fault recording, as well as the power quality continuous recording. And all of these devices are able to monitor power quality without any communication up to 1 year. But all the meters which are displayed here have to be evaluated. And for the evaluation part, we have now a new part of our software, which was called WebPQ. And this software part is now WebPQ Visualizer, displayed here on the right-hand side of this slide. What is WebPQ Visualizer? WebPQ Visualizer is an on-premise web server solution which is directly installed at your network. You have the opportunity to analyze power quality as well as disturbance in a new dimension at any time, any place, and with any device. Why is it like that? Because we are using a browser technology for display and evaluation. Inside the software opportunity, you will have a very easy understandable grid overview dashboard to detect disturbances in the grid at first glance, as well as a completely free configurable analyze section where you are able to provide your own analysis, as well as a completely free configurable REST API, which is able to transport all the high-end recorded and high accuracy data into third-party systems for example, grid evaluation directly. And last but not least, security is a very necessary thing in the future, and so the new WebPQ Visualizer has a full user rights management system with the so-called a-eberle functionality. The product and definition is like as follows. It is an add-on for WebPQ, our expert software for the evaluation of our devices. We call it as it is then a hybrid version for data visualization. We bring the cloud home, which means we install it directly in one app at your PC, at your server farm, in your own company. And we also support here many databases, like, for example, our standard database system, which is really reliable, and also from the cost situation and good appointment. This is a good point. This is PostgreSQL. Regarding the other functionalities, you can read it here directly, but today I want to present it directly inside our software, that you can see what are the opportunities of these new software WebPQ Visualizer. The advantages of the WebPQ Visualizer for you are, it is an opportunity for simple and fast visualization and also evaluation of your power quality measurement data, and also the fault records in a browser without any installation at the client side. And you can also use these software on different end devices like tablets or also a mobile phone. It is therefore platform independent because we are using your browser, and it can be directly installed on site in your company network. In the field of OT, so directly in the process network, as well as also in the field of your IT network. There is the standard definition and standard installation is highly secure with highly secured interfaces like HTTPS with an encryption on it and an own certification management with a-eberle. you are you are able to configure freely and customize able dashboards, get to the bottom of faults individually, and share your analysis very easy and quick with your colleagues. Another advantage is you are able to integrate these software opportunity, the software into third-party systems, thanks to iframe capability and fixed hyperlinks. In the last week, I had 2 discussions with customers from Austria as well as from Swiss. They want to integrate our system into their SCADA system directly without any that the user which is using the system has no influence in the handling of the software. We have therefore also, which is very necessary to know, we haven't fully documented REST API in case of Swagger for data exchange within your company, with universities, as well as also with third-party products, for example, network calculation or grid calculation tools. Where we are very proud of that is that we are downward compatible to the existing measurement data of WebPQ. So all power quality meters from our sites are supported with this new WebPQ visualizer. We could integrate us very flexible in your system, in your IT network, which is a need to have functionality for the future to provide such solution, to have the opportunity that you get easily access to these very reliable and very accuracy data. Therefore, I will jump now from my slides directly to the software itself. And I'm opening right now just in browser. Don't think of that I have now an access to our demo system. If you want to have also access afterwards, after this presentation, to our demo system, just write me an email and I will give you an access to this system that you can try it on your own. Inside the system, generally in your OT network or IT network, you there another pathways mentioned or have to be written down here. So it could be, for example, WebPQ minus server and with another port, and then you are able to connect directly to the installed on-premise web server in your company system. And now you have to log in with your user, and therefore what is a need to know functionality regarding to my system user, and I'm an administrator here in this situation, I can now access to that devices which I have, where I have the rights on it. So it is also possible to install this software in the field of a bigger company, in bigger utilities. We have installation in the meanwhile, as well as for example, also bigger industry companies. Just an example, if you have, for example, an industry company which has many different subcontractors, as well as maybe also many different factories all over the world, there is an opportunity to install one time the software WebPQ visualizer, and the responsible guys in the field, so the technicians, the engineers which want to work with the data in their factory, will have then the opportunity to access only to their data, which they can see, where they are allowed to see. And this gives you a lot of functionalities to provide a fleet overview and fleet management of many meters, and also with a high secure so-called tenant a tenant opportunity where each tenant could be maybe also one factory, and the main tenant, so the root tenant, is, for example, the main company, so the administrator of the whole system. So therefore, it is developed in a way that it is very scalable. Therefore, if you are logged in inside the grid overview part of the software, you can see a very abstract view of power quality data, but it is very easy to understand, in my opinion, and our opinion, and also in the opinion of many value customers which are working with this software solution in the meanwhile. The point here is you can see each line is one device, and each device has two different applications. One application is the fast application, disturbance fault recording. So if in a grid, for example, a fault occurs, you will have an earth fault, for example, then our meter is storing internally a very high accuracy and also very long disturbance fault recorder. In the meanwhile, we can record up to 160 seconds samples in an oscilloscope recorder, and 6 minutes of true RMS, 10 millisecond true RMS recorders in one DFR. And this could be seen here in the field fault records. So here you can see the samples, and if this button is red, there a new fault had occurred since the last time I have checked this part of the software. So I'm continuously able to see which faults are recognized by me and which faults are not recognized by me. And these oscilloscope, or these faults here from the first 4 devices, I have not entered it already in the past days. If you see the grid overview is fully interactive, which means if you just make a click here, the analysis section is automatically opening, and you can see here, okay, here a switch off had happened. Where we are very proud of that is that we can that the analyzed cockpit is opening very fast, even if there are many data sets inside. As I explained a little bit, this software here is located in Nuremberg. I'm sitting in another city of Bavaria, and I can access also to these samples in a very quick and fast way. And I think therefore we could be really proud of that, because that's not easy to implement, that you can also see in that situation very small and very big transients, for example, and that they are not filtered out during the transportation of this picture. What could be done here in this analyze section? I call this part of the software always a little bit different. I say always that's our WebPQ mobile. Many of our value customers are knowing our mobile devices, and also the very easy to handle software WebPQ mobile. And we try to combine both software packages inside the browser right now, and therefore it's the look and feel and also the usage of the software part is very similar to WebPQ mobile. So if you that customer who is working with our mobile devices can easily enter also to the data with our fixed installed devices. If you want to measure here inside these for example, this outage here, just click here inside, then a marker appears, and if you want to measure how long this outage was, maybe you can set a second marker, and you directly get displayed here the difference, and the difference not only in case of time, also the difference in case of the voltage or also current levels itself, to get a very quick and easy overview how long disturbances are, how deep they are, for example. Yes, if you want, I just will leave that. If you click another part of the software, another true RMS recorder, maybe there is another outage which is displayed a little bit different. And there we can make it as an example. Just click here inside and click here, and we can see maybe this outage was 1 second approximately. If you want to see the threshold levels, just click here in the field of thresholds, and the thresholds are applied to the analysis that you can see here. Due to this situation here, due to this undervoltage U23, so line 23, active trigger undervoltage, these high true RMS recorder was stored inside the device and was transferred into our database system, and you can see it here in our software solution. If you have entered all the information for these disturbance fault recorder, especially the if it was a plant switch, if it was a third party which was responsible for that, and you have added some comments, for example, like for example test, and you are also able to set priorities here and say save. Then everything is stored, and then you are able to save these configured disturbance fault recorder in your own dashboard while choosing the functionality Save In. And with the Save In button, automatically and you can set up a new tab, and inside this new tab, this disturbance fault recorder is stored automatically in. What is the aim of such functionality? The aim is you are able to make your own analyzed dashboards. For example, I have prepared some very easy to understand application. For example, here my device at home is directly measuring the energy of my hybrid car, and these hybrid car has since the start there was an energy of 1.29 megawatt, for example, megawatt hours, for example, and so you are able to depending on the situation, depending on the application, to provide your own dashboards for your application which you are working on. If you have done that, just store these tabs directly, and if you log out or log in, you can you can see these dashboard again. But now back to our grid overview dashboard, where some recorders have been shown here, and also you can see here the next part of our devices, as well as also the next part of our software functionality. So not only a fault recorder is possible to evaluate, but also a long-time evaluation regarding different standardizations. So, for example, if you have installed a device in the low voltage grid, and inside low voltage grid, you are measuring according a standard which is called EN 5160. The evaluation is done according to the standard, and the evaluation is done like that green means everything is fine. We are under all the set thresholds for the frequency, for the voltage itself, for the THD, so the sum of all harmonics until the 50th harmonics, and the PLT, which is the flicker value, and also according to the unsymmetric, and also all the harmonics until the 50th harmonics can be displayed, and very new functionality and very future orientated functionality is the frequency bands 2 until 9 kilohertz, and therefore I can also give you an outlook. We are also in the future able to measure continuously with our fixed installed devices until 20 kilohertz. We already have prepared that here, yes, as could be seen. Yes, green means again everything is fine. Red means we are quite next to the standard, or maybe also over the standardization. And yeah, some orange here means we are a little bit higher than expected, I would say, or a little bit higher than 0 in some situations. And here you see the opportunity of our drill-in functionality. So with one click, grid overview, you can have an overview over millions and also billions of data sets, because in such value here, H9, for example, the 9th harmonic, there are many data sets in this time range evaluated and according to a fixed threshold. And if you click inside this H9, again, the analyze cockpit is opening, so drill in, and now we are able to have a look why this value is a little bit higher than expected. How to do that? On the left-hand side, you will have the so-called measurement tree. So you will see every measure the device is recording in the meanwhile. I'm an electrical engineer, electrical technician, and so I know that a voltage level, what H9 is, so the 9th harmonic, is depending on the current level, or the current must explain over the net impedance the voltages. And this could be done here very easily if you just select here another value, and the value which should explain us a little bit the 9th harmonic could be in current, for example. And if I now add here at my home the current, for example, just select that, say apply, then the data is read out. And what could be seen here is I don't have an influence, my current, on the H9 in general. That's clear, because also my neighborhood, everyone which is quite next to me, quite next to my device, which is installed at the low voltage grid, is also influencing H9. But all the devices, all the participants in the grid is definitely influencing H9. H9 is also yes, a so-called flat TV curve. So you can see, especially in the German way, in the German thinking, the German Germans, that, for example, in the low voltage grid, that the highest values are always in the at lunchtime, as well as sometimes if the flat TVs are running at the weekend, often the H9 is a little bit higher than in general. If you want to select here a bigger data range and bigger time range, just select here another date, say apply, and then very quick and fast you will see the H9 very easy and understandable in the new selected time range. And even there you will have the opportunity to save your analyze now in your own dashboard, which I do right now. I will select my new tab interface, and there these evaluation, these values are now displayed here. And what is a really nice functionality here is the so-called share button. You will have the opportunity with the system, if the system is installed in your grid, where in a way that many colleagues of you, of your team maybe, which want to evaluate power quality or also energy or also only currents, depending on the applications, users definitely uses different values from our devices. Our devices record more than 100 more than 900 values, so many values are available here. And if you click here on the share button, you will have the opportunity to email and link maybe to these evaluation, to this analyze, to your colleague, and he can open it again and also provide and save it, these evaluation in their own tabulator, in their own analyzed dashboard. So that it is fully integratable and very easy to discuss about the power quality situation, about fault situation, or also here in my application here about the energy. I'm able to send my colleague of the internally my energy, which the hybrid has sorry, yeah, just send these information to them, and then yeah, at the end of the month I get the money for these expected energy from the company. So that's a really great opportunity in my opinion. In the field of grid overview, the same situation could be done with the power quality events, but you have seen we are very flexible in the way of evaluation in the field of analyzed dashboard, but we thought about that and say, okay, it is a little bit too the customer must be able to understand what the aim is of these analyst dashboard. Maybe we should give him a little bit more the direction where he can see more in a detailed way how the power quality is at different locations, at different devices. And therefore we provide the so-called analyzed device dashboard. In such this analyzed device dashboard, where you are able to enter over directly clicking on this device. For example, the device is called Übergabe, which is the same like yes, where the meter is installed at my house. And here you have the opportunity to see how many fault recorders has happened inside this week, how many power quality events had occurred. So frequency changes, voltage swell, voltage dip, so the fast voltage swell and voltage dips, the RVC, so rapid voltage changes, interruption, long time interruption, over voltages, and also the ripple control signal, which is common to mainly European countries. And On the left-hand side, you can see different, or below that first overview, you can have a look into different analyze possibilities. One analyze possibility is the frequency histogram, which is displayed like that. So here we have 50 Hertz, 50.000. Why 000? Because our devices are able to record the frequency with an accuracy of 0.1%, 0.1 millihertz, plus minus, so very accuracy frequency. And here you can see over this week, so these are always full weeks, how the frequency was, how many amounts of data in which data location, in which row of frequency we have, how many values are there inside. If you want to change that a little bit, you are also able to do that. Just click here, so it is fully integratable. You can have the opportunity to switch also between different analyze types. Here, maybe from the histogram to the level time diagram, and so from an also abstract view into another view, which is nearly common to all of us, technicians. But it is a need to have such functionality to detect exactly the frequencies which you want to see. So if you or which you want to analyze there. I just close it here. Here you can see also other values, like for example the min-max values. What is a min-max value? We provide in our devices so-called medium average interval values in different time intervals. So this is really common to power quality devices. What does it mean? In general, we are evaluating data in medium average interval of 10 minutes. For the frequency, it's much faster. There we have to evaluate according 10 seconds. And but the point is, our devices continuously are monitoring the power quality in a really tough and fast way, in really high accuracy of 40 kilohertz or until 40 kilohertz. So in with special supraharmonic feature which we could provide in our devices. And so we are also able, if we have the medium average intervals like in 10 minutes for the voltage and the voltage evaluation according to all the power quality standards which I have mentioned today, there I need to have also the information how was the voltage in the mean min and max value, and not only for the voltages. For the voltages, it's looking like that, which means here, for example, we had here 1 week of data sets, and we have here maybe one small dip. And regarding this dip, another value, the so-called flicker value, the PST, is automatically rising up. Is automatically increasing its value, and below we have also the THD value, where you can see our lifetime a little bit. So the THD in my house here in my neighborhood is always high if I have not an ohmic load. And when do I not have an ohmic load? I have no ohmic load, for example, in the night, and especially this could be seen here. The THD is increasing at night because of the less ohmic load, and is decreasing at the day because there we will have more ohmic load inside our grid. This is a normal situation to many countries as well as many industry companies. If the ohmic load is very low, then the values of the harmonics are much higher, depending on this situation. And this could be displayed also or seen also very easily here. But back to the 10 millisecond true RMS values. These values, min-max values, are could be also displayed here, not only in 1 week, but also could be displayed over 1 month in a really quick and easy way. And for me, it is always the general power quality. The general power quality evaluation in itself, so I can say, okay, in my home, at my at this station where this device is installed, I can see all small dips and all small swells in very easily and quick way. And if I'm interested into these values deeper, I can zoom in and maybe set markers and all that stuff. And also there is the opportunity to directly open then the oscilloscope, like here, like could be seen here, as well as the true RMS value, to see exactly what happened here, where comes the failure from, and so on. Here, like an example, as I explained already, here, for example, 60,000 millisecond sampled values, and as promised, also here the evaluation is really fast, and also the data comes out really fast and in a really reliable way. And therefore, I'm really proud of that solution, because that's, as I already said, not that easy to implement. Yeah, but coming back to the general overview here in the field of analyzed device, I explained this part. As could be also seen here, I have to search a little bit here in the ITIC, but let it make a little bit faster. I jump into the analyzed cockpit from that overview, and I just select a longer time evaluation period, maybe from 1st of January of 2023. And what I expect here is definitely we have a reliable grid here in Germany, but also we have from time to time so-called small dips, and this could be displayed here in the ITIC curve very easily, as could be seen here, in that way that if here you can see the time range of an value of a dip. Here is we have 2 half waves, so 20 milliseconds. This scaling here is logarithmic, and here we have, for example, one dip which was at 66.69% from the nominal voltage, and it was at the 5th of February. And if I'm interested into these so small dip, just click here, and then automatically you are drilling in to these fault record, and you can now make the evaluation afterwards in a very quick way, and also save these evaluation later in your own tab, in your fault record tab, for example, or another tab which is freely configurable. And also, and this is really nice to know for the future, also for the future prepared for automatic reporting. So this is the aim of the software functionality. You are able in the future to make here and to define here reportings, for example, to have maybe always the last week of data of THD, of energy, or whatever. And then in the future, like here, the energy from my hybrid car could be automatically transferred to our company, and the money is coming automatically also, hopefully. So this is the aim for the automatic process of this software functionality, which is planned for the future, but we have prepared that already depending on these opportunity in the field of analyze dashboard. Yeah. If you say, okay, it's looking nice, but the color is not mine, so the blue I don't like, just you are able to select. This is very save tab. This is also very easy. Here you can set up your own layout. You can set up your own communication addresses and all that stuff. And we provide several themes, several styles. For example, it's called HEL. Language English. This is one opportunity. Also an opportunity is the dark mode as an opportunity. And we during these days, we provide over 4 different languages, English, German, French, and Polish. And if you are interested in, we can also set up here also different other languages in the future. In the field of administration, you depending on your rights, and I have less rights here in this application with my username, but I can log out and log in again with another user, which is able to have more rights. Here in the administrator, you can see all the devices. For example, you are able to see all the users. You are able to see all the different users group, and inside this user group access-based role management, you can also set up different rules, different permissions for different devices, as well as for the different tenants. This is what I explained, what I tried to explain a little bit more, that the software is implemented like a tree. So we will have a root tenant, and from this root tenant we can make sub tenants, which can also create subtenants in itself. So if you are a bigger company, for example, this is really interesting for you to split different factories, different network types, grid types, whatever, into different applications. So therefore we are provided, or we could provide the solution, better said. In the field of the administrative, I think we should not go into deep, but one really interesting thing is also here the syslog functionality. So if you have a huge system, you always have to know if a communication is breaking or something else. So to run the system stable, if the time is always synchronized of the devices and all that stuff, and this could be done here. So if you to help you to run the system very stable. And what I did not explain in this short time is the so-called search functionality here. It is working like Google. So you just type in a name, for example, DC1, and now you see only the device DC1. And this is also available in many other different web pages inside the software, to have the opportunity to find devices in a very easy way, and also to have the opportunity to filter on different devices. For example, in the field of power quality events, you are able to load a lot of power quality events out of the system, and later on to filter these again in a common way. I think they are working in the background. Yes, now it's working. So in here, as explained here, you have in these time range, all disturbance fault recorders displayed. And if you are searching one special disturbance fault record, for example, the one which is called DC from the device DC06, you will get an overview of all DC06, or also what is possible is to filter according the device, the disturbance fault record itself. So just type in, for example, the type true RMS, then you are always only getting the true RMS disturbance fault recorders to get a really fast and quick overview. Such lists are often useful for an export functionality, and to have these, therefore we provide also this export functionality here on the right hand side on this button. Just click on this export function, and then you will get a CSV file for making other evaluations at your site, or to provide an evaluation to another guy who has no access into this system. Now I'm jumping out of the functionality here into my slides again. We will provide definitely the slides after the meeting today, after the directly. And I want to jump into one really special, and yeah, for most of you maybe also from the application point of view, not interested point, but from the IT point of view, a really great opportunity is the so-called REST API functionality. So we have an database like MySQL, Microsoft SQL, or PostgreSQL, and therefore we could provide the data over these open interface. So over REST you can send a command, and we will provide then the data later, the data in a common way, in a really known way. And also we provide therefore not only the REST API, in the meanwhile we are also providing a Python script for doing that. This is more or less for universities, as well as also for network or grid calculation tools are using such server-to-server communication, so REST, for getting the information out of the database in a really common way and comfortable and secure way. Here you can see again some analyze opportunities here, for example, with many different devices or many different tabs, and also a heat map evaluation. What we are providing in the meanwhile is also an very well known and bar graph evaluation of the harmonics, for example, based on the thresholds and so on. So also here we are developing in a continuous way. What a really big advantage of the software is the security integration of the WebPQ, so our database system, our hybrid system, which is continuously reading out our devices, storing the data into a database, and this database can be like shown here, located in a so-called demilitarized zone, where this data could be, where from the process network and secured access could be done, so to transfer the data, to store the data, and the evaluation should be made by the guys who are often sitting in the office. And this is one big advantage of these WebPQ visualizer, that we have the opportunity that more guys could get access to the high accuracy data in a really easy and quick way, since in the past. And also, if you provide such a solution, or if we could install such a solution at your this solution is maybe already installed at a TSO and also at a DSO here in Germany, and also in the meanwhile in Bulgaria we have one application running, and Romania we have one application running in that way to provide that the guys who are interested into the data could get access to these data in a very quick way, and also a third-party application like grid calculation tools could get access if you provide the solution in that way. We are providing here a product launch, so a soft rollout we call that. So if you are already a customer from us and you have a valid 24-month maintenance contract with us, only the WebPQ visualizer add-on is needed, and we definitely want to support you during the installation process, during the definition where the software have to be installed, and therefore we provide also the service, the support for that, which is in my opinion a good way for a secured implementation. If you are a customer who already without any valid 24-month maintenance contract of WebPQ, we need definitely for these software solution, WebPQ visualizer and WebPQ update mentioned here, and for the new customer, clear everything is needed. We make an so-called soft rollout, some services are included, but please directly contact our sales guys for more information in that way, and we will definitely give you and send you an offer. Last but not least, I have to tell you that the license model of the software is also really interesting in my point of view. So if you have, for example, an already installed WebPQ, normal access is possible with 2 users, and with this WebPQ add-on you will get directly 10 users which we define to the system, and you can have access over 10 users with these WebPQ visualizer add-on. And what is also possible is then to extend the users, the units a little bit if there is a need for it, if more users should work with this software solution. So I'm through my first presentation here. I hope you had fun to see a little bit our new technology. I think it's a big step into the future. Maybe in future we could also provide a service around all that stuff as a software as a service, but we will see in that way. So now I have to look to my colleague Max Sefts. Are there any questions which you can send me maybe? Yes. There were one question: how many devices can be on the dashboard? As many as you want. We are really glad, or the system is in that way very scalable made, so we have a server-side based method to transfer the data in a really small way. So this is not there is no general number which you can display, so it is completely free. I can also give you an example of or open an example where we have over 100 devices at one page. What we are now developing into this software is the so-called tagging functionality to provide, to have the opportunity to make own trees inside this grid overview dashboard and in all the other dashboards which we are providing. Another question was, does it have to be connected at all times, or does it receive data when you log in and decide to get the data? No, the system is running in the background, which is so the system is installed on a server. The communication is continuously running up in parallel to many meters, and also in parallel very secure. What does it mean very secure? Means we often have the point that the communication is not stable. So not from our side, but from the technology which is used. So for example, 3G, 4G technology, and caused by the situation that the communication is not stable, we use protocols which are very reliable, which means even if the communication is breaking to a device over 1 week, 2 weeks, half a year, we often have this application, so only sometimes the communication runs up. We will always transfer everything into the system when we get connection. And this is a really stable and reliable functionality. And we do that in parallel with many meters. Our biggest application in the meanwhile is over 1,500 meters at an industry company. So there you can see that we also have experience in the scalability. Another question was, I would like to know if the software is in Portuguese and if it has a presentation in the same language. We will speak with the partner definitely here. So we will provide also here the documents in your language if the partner, together with the partner. So I cannot see that this is not possible. Do I have access via the browser if I am not in the same network infrastructure, or is that the prerequisite? Yeah, this is a good question. Clear. The point is we can offer everything, but it must be also able to be done, which means if we have, let me jump into the slide. If we have, for example, here this slide, if we don't have an access from the internet to this WebPQ, which is installed here in the office, we will not have the opportunity to connect to. But if you are working, for example, with other functionalities like a VPN or WireGuard technology, maybe you would have the opportunity to get access to the data. This is always depending in the IT integration of the whole system. Many, or in some countries, power quality meters are often installed in the field, but are not working inside the process network. They are running into in an open network, and therefore they are pushing the data, or we are pushing the data into the cloud system. And if we install this system in your I call it always public-private cloud, which means it is a cloud which is hosted by you, and we are installing the software inside these cloud infrastructures from you. We have these applications. Then you will have access to the data also over the network worldwide, so over the internet. But this is always depending on your IT regulations of the EV of the utility. Yeah. Software is available for demo download, for marketing, and for how long? In general, I would like to get in touch with you in that way. I can say I can give you a demo access for, or I already explained that. I could give you a demo access to the demo Power Quality Cloud if you're interested in. So just write us an email so that we could provide the data for it. Software is free with meter, or one has to purchase separately. If so, what are the costs? That's a really interesting thing. In general, the software solution in the like it is at these during these days is a hybrid model, which means we have the the number of devices is licensed at the WebPQ application server. The evaluation software WebPQ visualizer, I explain visualizer, is free of charge of as many meters you want to have, but the point is how to bring the data into it, and therefore the licenses is needed for a meter. So we have packages 0 until 2, 2 until 10, 10 until 100, and more than 100, and also an so-called factory license where it is not where you don't need or where the number of devices is completely free. Are updates for free? What do you think? We are not a reliable partner if we say updates are for free. I think because, and this is very need to know functionality, we are ISO certificated according to the latest security standardizations, and we also have to provide a so-called patch management opportunity. And if you buy a software from us, you will get 12-month updates for free. Definitely after these 12 months, we are the software is running continuously through, and then after if you want to have patches, you have to spend money in, or you have to bring money with you, but I think that's clear that if it should be a reliable software solution, that it could not be free of charge for many years. That's impossible to run up. But we are a reliable partner. We have experience over 20 years, and since then we have our main customers are using our software opportunity, and I'm very proud also that we could manage to from the first meter which we developed could also be read out in the meanwhile, or evaluated by this completely new WebPQ functionality. So I think these are also good news. Okay, I think there are only how powerful must be the connection between local instrument and the cloud to bring a so large quantity of data? If a GSM connection is necessary, how many data must be contract with the SAM? This is a really good and really understandable question. The point is, we don't need a very high data rate. Such a meter is able to is only transferring per week 20 megabytes of data into this database in a medium average calculation. What does it mean in the standard parameterization? And standard parameterization means 800 measures are metered here inside this device, is stored in a way, in a really small way, and then the application is reading out the data in also a way which has not which has not the effect that you need to have a really high data rate, because of what we have applications where we must run the application over maybe SHDSL technology, and this SHDSL technology from time to time only has data rates of approximately 100 kilobit per second, and even in this application we have to bring in the data, so the oscilloscope, so sample values, as well as the long time evaluation records into the database absolutely securely, and this is running. So there is no need to have a really high data rate to the meter itself, because of what? Yeah, because of our experience in that way, and we know often the communication is the main issue. Therefore, also we provide other solutions. You can see it on PQIDA Smart, for example. Some device is able inside standard parameterization without any communication to provide the long-time data, the medium average data over 140 weeks without any break in between. So yeah, approximately 3 years. And then clear, if you then connect the device to the database, then we need some time to read out the data, but there is no need to extend the bandwidth in a really big way. Okay. I can see there are no more questions. I have to say thank you very much for your time, and yeah, enjoy your day or morning. So we have customers today from New Zealand until South America. So I wish you all the best and keep healthy. If there are any other questions, please let us know. And now I have to say thank you very much and goodbye. Bye bye.